guys, and welcome to Katie's Insight, where I give my insight on all kinds of things, including news, business, finance, politics, and most importantly right now, stimulus and the election, which sadly, even though it shouldn't, go hand in hand. They do. I wish they didn't, but they do. And we're going to continue on this train right now, and I'm going to give you guys updates on where we stand on everything. And so far, the update is with the side of... You know what? I will give you a really fun update though. Do you guys see this shirt? This is brand new. I spent like 15 bucks on this. I had been watching it for a while and I made, even though like I said, you guys have helped me out so much. So I am making enough money where I can just get by right now. I was able to splurge a little bit on myself. And look, you guys can't see it, but like it does all this ombreing to pinks and yellows, and it's so pretty. I love it. Now, this is the first time I've worn this, so I'm a virgin to this shirt, so I hope it goes okay. But the other thing is, guys, this is really fun. This is a small. Where a lot of times I can fit in smalls. If I can, it's like super tight. And this I actually have some breathing room in, and it feels really good. And so then I did my hair and I did the curls, so I feel pretty good. You ever just feeling yourself? I'm feeling myself today, as a lot of ladies say. It's just a new sweater, good shirt kind of day with some curls in my hair, and I'm feeling good. And I wanted to share that with you guys and say thank you, because it's because of you guys I could splurge and spend the 15 bucks on this. And then I splurged a little bit and I got some new sweaters that I will be going over. The only thing I don't like is, see this stuff where it's frayed? It came that way. I'm like, I'm gonna screw this shirt up over the years as it is. I don't need y'all helping me, but I thought it was so pretty and I like the colors, so I'm going to wear it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I have two other colors coming like this, and then I have a rainbow thing, so I will show you guys. Now, I don't care how old I get. I love rainbow, pink, and sparkles. I'm basically a toddler, but that is okay. So that's at least one good update. It's not about stimulus, but at least it's some fun stuff. So where are we at with stimulus? Well, we all know everything is at a standstill because of two things. Number one, the election. The election is going to make everything stupid, and it's going to continue to be stupid for a while, unfortunately. And I wish I had better news than that, but I really don't. But I do have some good news in that we are finding different ways and places for you guys to get money right now, because I know so many of you guys are struggling even worse than you were before. And I'm so sorry, but our government has just been so awful and failing us. I'm only in the position I'm in right now because of you guys. And I'm so, like, literally, when I wear this shirt, I get so happy thinking it's because you guys have just been so wonderful to me. Like, I literally feel love and care when I wear this shirt. I'm like, that's a wonderful feeling. So thank you guys for letting me be able to get this shirt because of your kindness. It's so appreciated. And like I said, it's fun because it's a small. So I'm like, and you guys know my story. If you haven't seen this, I have a link in the description. Description's down here and up here. I actually lost over the last year. I've lost about 120, 125 pounds because I gained all that weight from being sick. I have a video where I detail that, and you can see before and after pictures, and I explain what happened and what I did. So if you're interested, go check that out. And that is another channel of mine. It's called Joy Sparkle BS. And I upload more personal stuff or stuff that's not in the business and finance world, or, you know, current event world necessarily. It's a little bit of a different side of YouTube. So just a heads up, if you go there, you're going to see other videos that are going to be different content. May not be for you, but if you would like to see me on that, please make sure and go there, Joy Sparkle BS, subscribe. And then, like I said, check out the video. I'll have the link about me losing 120 pounds, how I did it, the process, and what happened with that in my health. So, okay. Anyways, let's talk stimulus. Stimulus. Before we do, guys, $100 gift card in this video. Still giving them away. This is all you have to do to win. Like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content. Boom. You're eligible. You're entered. That's all you have to do. Do it for every video you see. And the more times you comment and the more times you share, the higher the chance you have to win. So if you comment 50 times, more chance to win. Good luck. I just gave away 2 gift cards. Very excited. I just PayPal'd one of the winners, so I was very excited to do that. And I will announce winners on Monday. Add me on Facebook, Katie's Insight, and Katie's Corners, the group. I'll change it to Katie's Insight soon. Go in there, ask all the stimulus questions, you know, get election updates, all different types of things. Okay, so where are we at with stimulus? Stimulus, again, we're at a standstill. As we know, so far, the media has called it for Biden, and he gave his victory speech. Even though that's not how it works and the media can't really call that, but unfortunately, that's just where we're at the moment. And how that's going to play out, we don't know. Trump is now pursuing legal matters in some states. Now, I have heard, but I need to look into this a bit more. I have heard some of the legal stuff that he is going after. It hasn't worked so far, but Trump has been basically getting lawyers across the country to fight this on his side. I do not think this is over. We're also issuing lots of recounts in these states. So that's another thing. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But here's the other part. Hold on. Thirsty? Trust me, it's just water. I'm on that crazy, insane diet where I can have water and then sometimes, well, about once a day, I have coconut milk with some chai tea and green leaf stevia, not the white stuff, the actual like green leaf part. So those are the only things. And then chicken broth or beef broth. Those are the only things I can drink. I couldn't have fun if I wanted to, so I have to wear shirts like this to get high. Oh, and hold on. Smell my good stuff. So right now we're in a lame duck session. Typically in a lame duck session, nothing happens anyway. Nothing. And right now, all of the efforts are going to be focused, at least for the media. The media and everybody else is going to be super focused on trying to push Biden through office. Now, again, not because I want this to happen. This is just where I see things going. So Trump's efforts are all going to be based on trying to get him back in office and kind of showcasing what that's going to be. So at this point, I don't see any executive orders coming from Trump, at least not right now. I know before the election, he kind of threw his weight around and threatened that, but now that I'm seeing the pieces really fall into place on this checkers board or this game of chess, this dumb game of chess where our lives are at stake, I'm kind of seeing how a lot of these people and a lot of these players have been playing this game. It now makes sense why at the 11th hour, Trump said, forget about stimulus. Let's just go ahead and get somebody in the Supreme Court, probably because they knew there was going to be some election BS afoot. Too many weird things going on. Too many weird things there. And with it being a lame duck session, so Trump and his people are not going to be doing much of anything right now to probably help the situation because they are focused on where they are focused with trying to make sure the integrity of the election stays intact. Now, with everybody else and where everything else is that things have been fairly quiet, which is really funny. Nancy Pelosi has been fairly quiet. Interesting how she was so big on stimulus and crushing the virus, and now that she believes her guy got elected, she's pretty silent, isn't she? I find it interesting. Another one that spoke up is Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell has ping-ponged back and forth about, we're going to do it in 2021. We'll do it before the election, 2021. And now he just came back and said he wants to pass it before the election. Mitch, how do you plan to do that? Because he says we don't need a bigger bill. Like, it's getting stupid. Pelosi wants a huge, massive bill and won't settle for less. And Mitch just barely wants to do anything. He's fine with kids starving. As long as the schools are open, they don't need to eat, apparently. Every time I say the word apparently, do you guys remember on the Ellen show, the apparently kid, he had that red hair. He was like, I went down the slide, it was great, apparently. And he just kept saying it. Every time I say it, I think about that and I giggle, that cute little kid. I wonder what he's doing. Let's do a where is the redheaded kid, the apparently kid from Ellen now. Sound off in the comments and let me know if you know. But that's where we're at with stimulus. However, I do have some good news. We have some breaking news about vaccines. So let's get into that and let's take a look while we're all feeling good in our sweaters. So, and I've also heard there's not one, but there are 2 vaccines that are basically ready to go. I have some info pulled up. This says the virus. Eli Lilly's antibody treatment gets FDA approval. And guys, this is huge because this is the first one that's being rushed to get emergency FDA approval. Now, if you guys remember Eli Lilly, this is one of those treatments that's very similar to what Trump took when he was in office when he had the virus. So it says, Ben Carson, the Housing and Urban Development Secretary, is the latest in a long line of Trump administration officials and associates to contract the virus. President-elect Joseph R. Biden Jr. announced his virus advisory board as well. Mark Meadows has come down with us. This is something else we've heard. It's real interesting. Trump's campaign, except for Kayleigh McEnany, and check out the video if you have not. It's either coming out or it has come out. Sometimes I don't know when I'm going to put these things out exactly, but she went off and it was wonderful. She said several things I think me and a lot of us have been thinking when it comes to this election. So it says the FDA gave emergency approval to Eli Lilly's antibody treatment. The FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, has granted emergency authorization of a virus treatment made by Eli Lilly that was given to Chris Christie, the former New Jersey governor, when he was infected with the virus. The authorization announced on Monday applies only to people newly infected with the virus, and the agency said it should not be used in hospitalized patients. The treatment is approved for people 12 and older who have tested positive, who are at risk for developing a severe form of the virus or being hospitalized for the condition. That includes people who are over 65 and obese, the agency said, a key group that early studies have shown can benefit the most from the treatment. Eli Lilly said that its treatment called, oh y'all, I'm gonna butcher this. I just want you to know ahead of time. Bamlanivimab. Maybe. I took phonetics and dictation. I should be able to do this because remember I was a trained opera singer for several years. Anyways, bamlanivimab should be administered as soon as possible after a positive test and within 10 days of developing the symptoms. Sound off in the comments if that's how you're supposed to say it. Let me know. It's a great day for science and medicine. Sort of a feat of what's possible, said Dr. Daniel M. Skovronski, the chief scientific officer of Eli Lilly. The company and its collaborators, including the National Institute of Health, he said, were able to create a new drug, manufacture it, test it in clinical trials, and get it authorized for use in just 7 months. And guys, like, it can take a while to get these types of things to go through and authorize the testing. So I will say, like, this is a super quick turnaround. In October, the company announced that it had reached a $375 million deal to sell 300,000 doses of the treatment to the US government. Eli Lilly said Monday that it will begin shipping the treatment immediately to AmerisourceBergen, a national distributor, which will then distribute it on behalf of the federal government. So they're ready to roll out, y'all. They are ready to go. The treatment consists of a single powerful antibody that is believed to keep the infection in check and has been shown in early studies to reduce emergency room visits and hospitalizations in patients who get the drug early in the course of their disease. It is similar to the treatment that President Trump received, made by the Westchester biotech company Regeneron, which is a cocktail of two antibodies. Regeneron has also applied for emergency authorization. So there we go. That's another one that's like right on the way, right down the line. Mr. Christie disclosed this fall that he had received the Lilly treatment on an emergency basis after he was infected with the virus. Eli Lilly's authorization raised immediate questions about who would get access to the treatments, which must be infused in a clinic or hospital. The company has said it expects to have enough to treat 1 million people by the end of the year. That means, even in the best case scenario, there won't be nearly enough to curb a virus that is now infecting on average of 111,000 people a day in the United States. It's kind of the best times for these therapies to enter because they can have an impact, said Dr. Walid Gelid, who leads the Center for Pharmaceutical Policy and Prescribing at the University of Pittsburgh. It's also the worst time because we don't have enough doses, and it's going to add to the backlog of testing. By Monday evening, over 100,000 new U.S. cases had been recorded for the 6th consecutive day, and more than 59,000 COVID-19 patients were hospitalized, nearing a record. 7 states and Guam set daily records for new cases. Very, very interesting, guys. So this is very, very interesting because, as we know, getting a vaccine and getting it pushed out as quickly as possible, this is one of the barriers to actually getting our country back on track, getting the economy back open, getting our jobs back, to a lot of different things. So this is really, really fantastic news. Hopefully this will be able to, and my hope is as well, I'm hoping people will be able to get this that need it. It's not just going to be for the super wealthy or the elites. We'll have to see what happens when it comes to price and price points. And, who knows? We just have to wait and see when it comes to that. So I guess they will get that figured out. And hopefully this will be something that's affordable for all people. So good news. This is what, like I said, I'm going to always be realistic with you guys. As I've said, I'm an optimistic, idealistic realist. I'm always going to be real with you guys, but I'm also going to try to show you the positive signs of where things are going and what we can capitalize on. And this is a very big positive. Now, this is what I want to go over as well, because you guys know I've been talking a lot about different forms of stimulus that are out there. It's always interesting to me. Sometimes in the comments, people get irritated by some of my videos. And I understand, but they think stimulus is only in the form of what the federal government puts out. And I always have to explain, no, stimulus can come in a lot of different forms. It's ways to stimulate the economy. And the states right now have a lot of that CARES Act money sitting around. And right now the states are starting to give back to people, and we're getting more and more reports of this. Hold on, thirsty. Does that happen to anybody else? When the weather changes, I get super, super thirsty. No matter if it's hot to cold, cold to hot, but typically it goes from like warm to cold. And you know, fall loves to just mess with us back and forth for a while until it finally settles into winter. But this is one that I thought was really, really interesting. And I've heard there are a couple programs like this around like the Los Angeles or the California area. We're going to focus on California today because I have some very, very exciting news for people who live in the Los Angeles area. So this is from the LAtimes.com. It says 800 Compton residents to get guaranteed income in a 2-year pilot program. That's awesome. And I want to give you guys some information so you can look this up in your area too, because there's more places that are trying to do things like this right now than what's being reported on. So let's go ahead and get into it and I'll show you guys what you can do. So it says Jacqueline Andrade and her husband both lost their jobs in March at a point during the pandemic where grocery store shelves were being ransacked and government aid seemed far off. She was running low on groceries for her family and formula and diapers for her 3-month-old son. She seriously contemplated having to make diapers out of cloth and scrambling for ways to feed her hungry baby. It was something I never thought I would face, the 37-year-old Compton mother said. We were unprepared for this. Well, I think all of us have been unprepared for this. None of us saw the craziness coming. We all know things have been getting tighter and tighter and worse and more of a squeeze over the years, but I don't think anybody could really foresee what 2020 was going to be. With the help of her children's school, KIPP SoCal, and nonprofit One Family Los Angeles, she got access to a one-time $500 payment. It was a lifesaver that helped her cover basic needs in a moment of desperation. But it's not the same as a steady paycheck. That kind of help, she said, would be a stress reliever for our community. It is people like Andrade, whom a new guaranteed income pilot program is trying to reach, Compton Mayor Aja Brown said. Later this year, the mayor says the Compton Pledge will begin giving 800 Compton residents free cash for a 2-year period. Brown said she thinks the program will have the greatest number of participants in a single U.S. city. And then she says, I recognize that there's a need for additional income, especially within the pandemic resulting in record high numbers of unemployment throughout the entire country, the mayor said. And you know, just the fact that, I don't know, nobody's helping us, nobody's stepping up to help us, and our government keeps failing us. They would rather spend their time, doing really nefarious things with elections than actually get something to help us. Makes me so mad. The mayor says this is a great opportunity to address inequalities for Black and brown people and also additional opportunities for upward mobility. So far, private donors have contributed $2.5 million to the Fund for Guaranteed Income, a charity headed by Nika Soon Shiong, daughter of Los Angeles Times owner Patrick Soon Shiong. Nika is also a co-director of the Compton Pledge. Funds will be administered by the city's Compton Community Development Corporation. Each selected family will receive at least a few $100s on a recurring basis, as well as tools that will help them access financial guidance, Brown said. Parents or other residents caring for dependents may receive more. Anonymous researchers will track their participants' spending and well-being. The families will be randomly selected from a pre-verified group of low-income residents. A board made up of community organizations such as the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights and My Brother's Keeper will advise the Compton Pledge on how to best reach marginalized communities. The Compton Pledge has so far divulged little about the details, such as who donated to support the program, exactly how to participate, how the participants will be selected, how much and how often recipients receive cash, and what the research methods would be. The Compton Pledge organizers want to maintain the integrity of the process, but ensure transparency once details are fleshed out, said Halal Ahmed, head of public relations and policy communication for the Jane Family Institute, a nonprofit research firm that helps design guaranteed income pilots. The program will aim to include a representative sample of the 68% of Latino and 30% of Black residents in Compton, as well as those often excluded from federal and state aid programs, including undocumented immigrants and formerly incarcerated residents. Ahmad said it remains to be seen whether a model that gives varying amounts of cash to needy residents will be effective and whether there are substantial ways to fund a long-term guaranteed income program. Brown said she's been aware of the concept of universal basic income for years, but got to see it in action in February 2019 when Stockton Mayor Michael Tubbs launched the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration, which gave 125 residents $500 a month for 18 months. In June 2020, Brown joined Tubbs as a founding member of the Mayors for a Guaranteed Income, a consortium of mayors working to launch more pilot programs in their cities. In July, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey donated $3 million for the initiative. By August, Brown began to work with Compton Pledge Partners to design its pilot program. The concept of giving citizens free money with no strings attached was once a radical idea that has begun gaining traction, partly as a result of the pandemic. Opponents of guaranteed income have argued that extra cash with no strings attached will lead to higher levels of unemployment and that recipients might spend the money on drugs or alcohol or other temptation goods. I gotta say, yeah, that's always a possible risk. But at this point, even if they gave them a little bit of money a month, depending on how much it is, but like even if it's $1,000, it's nice. That's not enough to live off of though. Like you would still need to be working 2 or 3 jobs and hustling regardless. Like, I don't know, I think even though there could be some truth in areas to that, I also think that's one real big fallacy just to try to keep people down. But decades of research have indicated that very few people work less after receiving cash transfers. There it is. And those who do usually spend more with their families. Ahmad said, in a review of 19 studies on cash transfers between 1997 and 2014 by the World Bank, authors found that almost without exception, studies find either no significant impact or significant negative impact of transfers on temptation goods. Brown said she hopes the impact of the cash transfer will ripple across her Compton community, beyond those who are selected for the pilot program. Having been raised by a single mother, she knows just how much it would mean. She worked really hard and focused on providing for my brother and I and giving the best quality of life she could, Brown said. I know firsthand that having a guaranteed income would have made a tremendous difference. Now, I want to go over this because I know some people are going to have some questions on this. This is going to be from the website comptonpledge.org. And so this is what it says. And I'm just going to go over a couple things with this because I know you guys are going to have some questions. So it says, what is the Compton Pledge? The Compton Pledge is a landmark guaranteed income initiative that will distribute recurring cash relief to low-income residents for 2 years starting in late 2020, so it starts soon. The Compton Pledge will be the largest city-based guaranteed income pilot in the U.S. and will harness the power of unconditional cash transfers and services of racial and economic justice. The pledge is built by a broad coalition led by Mayor Aja Brown, the Fund for Guaranteed Income, F4GI, the Jane Family Institute, JFI, and local national leaders that serve marginalized communities and justice movements across Compton and the U.S. So this looks like this is going to be tailored specifically to minorities. Unbanked Comptonians will be provided with no-cost financial services through a new online platform, the first of its kind in U.S. guaranteed income initiatives. Ambitious in its scale and design, the pledge aims to inform policies at the state and federal level. Now, this is one I'm going to go over 2 other things because I know everybody's going to want to know who receives cash from the Compton Pledge. How do you apply? What's the situation? It says residents of Compton who receive cash will be randomly chosen from a pre-verified group of low-income Comptonians working in collaboration with national and local community-based organizations which have built the infrastructure to deliver virus relief cash transfers to individuals who are excluded from welfare programs and former financial institutions. So it doesn't really say, it just says chosen from a pre-verified group of low-income Comptonians who work in collaboration with national and local community-based organizations. So, and these are people that look like they're wanting to do this and aim this at people who can't get help anywhere else. Very interesting. These sources ensure the lowest burden of documentation on participants, with the aim of making the program inclusive and truly representative. The random selection deliberately draws from the widest possible range of Compton's community, representing a cross-section of low-income populations, such as household income, with income less than 200% of the supplemental poverty measure, and those excluded from the federal welfare programs. Interesting, okay. The method of enrollment will allow the Compton Pledge to test more inclusive and effective mechanisms for cash transfer delivery while supporting the 1 in 4 who are unbanked, the formerly incarcerated who are denied welfare benefits, and undocumented individuals who are denied the right to a fair minimum wage. It says the method of this method of enrollment. Well, I don't see a method of enrollment, I guess. You know, if you're chosen, but that doesn't give us any info, unfortunately. Only one member of each household will be eligible to receive the benefit. I'll do one more for people who are interested, and this is short. How much will the recipient receive? The exact amounts received by each participant will vary, but each participant will receive at least several $100s, with greater amounts received by parents with multiple children. The frequency of distribution will also vary, but participants will be informed at the onset about the timing of the expected payment so that they may plan accordingly. Interesting. So in this one, there's really no way for anybody to look up exactly what this is or what they need to do. But if you are in that area, you know somebody in that area that's low income, let them know about this, because this may be a program that could fall into their lap and help them. Now, you guys might be thinking, well, how does that help me? Like, what am I supposed to do? I have some more information. This is something I've shared weeks and months ago, but I want to go ahead and put it back up there because this, in my opinion, is very, very good. And this is also what this article referenced. So you can look this up in your city. This goes over a lot of things for a lot of cities. So this is Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. And you can go to mayorsforagi.org. And then you're going to get to this website. And I'm going to go over some information so you know what this is. So it says, economic insecurity isn't a new challenge or a partisan issue. Wealth and income inequality, which have long plagued our country, continue to grow. Even prior to the pandemic, people who were working 2 and 3 jobs still couldn't afford basic necessities. Amen to that. The virus has only further exposed the economic fragility of most American households and has disproportionately impacted Black and brown people. Amen. This is our New Deal movement. Everyone deserves an income floor through a guaranteed income. So this Mayors for a Guaranteed Income is all about mayors across the United States who've signed up to try to help get universal basic income or some type of recurring basic income for their residents. And so then it says, and then they have a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King that says, I'm now convinced that the simplest approach to prove to be the most effective. The solution to poverty is to abolish it directly by a now widely discussed measure, the guaranteed income. And it says, building off his first of a kind guaranteed income pilot, SEED, and rooted in Dr. King's legacy, Mayor Michael D. Tubbs from Stockton, California, and the Economic Security Project founded Mayors for a Guaranteed Income in June 2020. Mayors will come together in this network to advocate for a guaranteed income, direct recurring cash payments that lifts all of our communities, building a resilient and just America. And I want to go over, guys, some of the information about the mayors and the cities that have signed up for this. So we have Stockton, California, Newark, New Jersey, Columbia, South Carolina. We have Atlanta, Georgia, Compton, you guys just heard Compton, California, New Orleans, Louisiana, St. Paul, Minnesota, Seattle, Washington, Providence, Rhode Island, Los Angeles, California, Long Beach, California. And then it's Hudson, New York, Jackson, Mississippi, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Holyoke, Massachusetts, Mount Vernon, New York, Ithaca, New York, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Shreveport, Louisiana, Madison, Wisconsin, Patterson, New Jersey, Gainesville, Florida, Oakland, California, and then it's Richmond, Virginia. Wow, there's even more than the last time I talked about this. And then we have Tacoma, Washington. So guys, listen up. Those are the cities who are trying to actually put this in place. So let's go ahead and let's actually look at what their resources are and what they're doing. It says, the idea of a guaranteed income is as old as the nation itself and has deep roots in the fight for racial justice. Early advocates include Thomas Paine and Thomas More in the 1960s. Supporters included economist Milton Friedman, President Richard Nixon, and Governor Huey Long. Guaranteed income also has deep roots in the civil rights movement with Dr. Martin Luther King, the Black Panther Party, and the National Welfare Rights Organization calling for direct cash payments. In recent years, guaranteed income has regained traction as a policy antidote to poverty and raising wealth and income inequality. Guaranteed income pilots are already happening in a number of cities and counties across the country. And then it just goes ahead and lists stuff. So it says these income pilots are happening here. So listen up. Stockton, California, and that's called the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration. We have Magnolia Mothers Trust in Jackson, Mississippi. Chicago Resilient Families Task Force, and that's Chicago, Illinois. Newark Guaranteed Income Task Force, Newark, New Jersey. And Old Fourth Ward Economic Security Task Force in Atlanta, Georgia. So guys, make sure and look up that information if that's in your city or you know people in those cities. They are doing it in Stockton, California, Jackson, Mississippi, Chicago, Illinois, Newark, New Jersey, and Atlanta, Georgia. So make sure and look up that information if this is something that's going to interest you. Now, from my understanding, they also have just teamed up with Jack Dorsey. That was this summer, and he has infused these programs with a few $1 million. There's also a sign up on the website if you want more information. So, like I said, I wanted to provide you guys with more information about what this is and what you can do when it comes to trying to help get this money for yourself. So, I think this is good news. I think this is a step in the right direction. I can already hear the comments. Well, it's communism, it's socialism, it's blah, blah, blah. Right now, people need all the help they can get, and I'm just happy that people can get any help, especially those who typically can't or aren't allowed to get help. Like, I'm down. I'm fine with that. In fact, I'm pretty happy with that outcome because, as I said, people need help, and we all need help right now. And so the people that are hardest hit, why not? Why not help them is my theory. Now guys, I want to go over this as well because I talked about this before in the video and I just want to make sure you get this information. Right now in Orlando, Florida, Orange County, they're giving away $100,000 CARES Act grants to families and individuals. They are handing out $1,000 checks. And it says applications can be submitted on November 4th at 8 a.m. and we are now at November 10th, so you can still get an application in. Let me give you this information so you have this. It says Orange County still has more money to allocate from the pandemic funds distributed to local governments from the Federal CARES Act. The county received $243.2 million in CARES Act or virus relief funding this spring and set aside $60 million to help families and $72.9 million to help businesses through grants. Families and individuals who have been impacted by the virus pandemic can apply for $1,000 grants through the county website. So go to the Orange County website. That's where you can apply for this. And if I remember correctly, there are 2 or 3 different things you can apply for aside from just the grants. I believe there's like bill assistance, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Since county workers began distributing $1,000 grants this summer, they have sent or are in the process of sending payments to 34,000 people or families, Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings said. The county government will again open the application portal on Wednesday, November 4th at 8 a.m. and will remain open for 15,000 users. And guys, not a lot of people know about this, so get in there. Go ahead and get in there. Even if it says they're full, if you can still submit an application, if you're seeing the slate, submit one anyways, because they've done this a few times now. And when they get it refunded, you may be the first in line because they'll go through the backlog first, most likely. Deming stressed that people who apply do not have to be unemployed, but do have to show they have been impacted by the pandemic in some way. The grants are also not just for low-income households. Diane Arnold, a manager with the Orange County government, said the county has sent the comptroller's office $35 million for 35,000 payments. Checks have already been sent out, totaling $34 million. Arnold said the processing time depends on the application, but since October, they have been able to approve and send out payments within 1 month after the application. That's not bad when you're in need. It kind of depends of the application, if there's an issue with it or not. We get a lot of applicants, just to give you an example, that for the address doesn't automatically verify in the system as Orange County address, which means we have to then do it in a manual process since one of the requirements is to be an Orange County resident, Arnold said. But in general, our goal is to get payments out within a month. Deming said $11.7 million remains for the county eviction diversion program. Those applications are still open until December 30th. He said 1,038 families have been helped by this program, totaling $3.2 million in CARES Act funding. The county set aside $20 million for the program. And guys, that website to go to is ocfl.net/orange-cares. Now, when you get there, guys, you're going to see a website. I'm just going to kind of go over some information for you right here. It's going to pop up. Now, here are the things that you can apply for, and you might actually have to do 3 different applications. So, for instance, you can do the eviction diversion program to help with your rent. You can do the bill assistance, $1,000 a month, and they're also doing grants for small businesses. If you need additional help on anything, you can give them a call directly at 407-836-3111, 407-836-3111, and call and see if there's anything else that you need to do. Even ask if there are other programs available. And as I've been saying for a while, guys, something that you also want to make sure and do with this is you want to make sure if you didn't hear your city or state called, because I know a lot of people in the comments, and sound off in the comments where you're from so I can make sure and do some research and try to figure this out. We're going to continue to help you find money around the country, but you also need to be proactive. As I've said, a lot of people get confused. They think stimulus specifically only can refer to the federal government sending us a check, and that is not true. States are now starting to send out checks and send out help because we need it, and it could be, guys, it could be till March till we get any help. And let's think about this. If Trump actually goes to court when it comes to this election, it becomes a big battle. This is going to get crazy for a while, and that's where all the focus is going to be. So I don't know how, I don't know that we're going to get help anytime soon, unfortunately, but this is what you can do. Call, go to your county website, go to your city website, go to your state websites. You need to start calling around. Call your county offices, call your government offices for the county, your government offices for the city, your region, and your state. See what is out there for you. Start Googling stimulus check. Like I'm in Oklahoma City, stimulus checks, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma residents, stimulus, that type of thing. Start doing Googling for your city, your county, your state. See what comes up for you. And I know I say this in every video, grants.gov. Grants.gov if you're a business owner. There are all kinds of grants for all different types of businesses. It's actually really overwhelming how much is there. So if you are a minority-owned business, a woman-owned business, a veteran business, or you have some type of unique business, you're going to find a niche there. Go and apply. A lot of people still don't know about this, and this can be really helpful right now. Okay, guys, that's really all the information I have for you, but every day I'm going to be updating more and more. I'm going to go over those pilot programs in those other cities coming up. We will go over that. And guys, if you have information on anything that pops up around the country to help people, make sure to go to the Facebook group. Like the Facebook page, Katie's Insight. Go to the Facebook group, which is Katie's Corner right now. Will be changed to Katie's Insight, and post stuff. Post different things, and if it's good information, it will arrive in a video, and we can all help each other, which in my opinion, that's just what we're here to do, or at least it's what I'm here to do, and I know many of you are. Can I do one big shout out, guys? I want to give one big shout out in the comments. Send her love to British Gray. Hey, girl, hey. She is just this beautiful, positive little being of light that is always leaving the sweetest comments. She goes in the group every day leaving encouraging messages and encouraging posts, and she finds so much information for people who are struggling, and a lot of the info I've gotten is directly from her. Give her hearts and shout her out. To me, when I see her, she's like a celebrity on my page, and I get very excited. Me and Alice, we love her. So girl, thank you so much for stepping up and just being you and being a brilliant light in a time of darkness and helping so many people. Thank you, and thank you for helping me get information out to people. I owe you favors. Love and respect, girl. Okay, guys, if you like this video, please help me out and give me a big thumbs up. Like the video, subscribe, hit notifications so you can be notified what's coming up. What is going on? So you can be notified what's coming on the pipeline for you in stimulus money or anything about the elections, politics, and anything in between. Sound off in the comments section. Let me know what you think. Let me know where you're from, and let me know if you have information to help people. Or guys, please share this content with as many people as you know are struggling right now. People who are on unemployment, waiting for unemployment, stimulus checks, SBA loan and grant issues, everything in between. I just want to help as many people as possible. And you guys being able to do this helps me. And guys, the more comments you leave and the more videos you like, subscribe, the more you do that, the more comments you leave, the more times you share, you will be eligible for a $100 gift card by doing all the things that I mentioned. Like, subscribe, comment, notification, share. It enters you to win a $100 gift card. I announce winners on Monday. And leave comments. If you want to leave 100 comments, that gives you 100 chances to win, more than everybody else. And it helps me grow the channel, and it helps get this content to more people. It's one awesome circle of love that we would love to see you at. Like I said, join the Facebook group, Katie's Insight, and go to, the Facebook page, Katie's Insight, like the page, the group, Katie's Corner. Go in there. We're sharing info. We're helping each other. We would love to see you there. Okay, guys, I'm going to go relax in my pretty new sweater. I'm so happy. I am so happy to have this. Just little things make me so happy. I am so grateful. I am just so, seriously, insanely grateful every time I end these videos that I have the best, most wonderful audience that watches me. I cannot thank any of you enough. I will never be able to. From the top, the bottom, the whole of my heart, thank you for allowing me to do what I do. Thank you for allowing me to help you and other people. And thank you for allowing me to stay in my home. I just appreciate you guys so much. I can never express it enough. Thank you so much. Lots of love. And until next time, take care, blessings. I will see you guys soon. Mwah! Goodbye.